Welcome to Mark Loves Cars. Today I review this 2008 Porsche Cayman S 6-speed manual, the 987 Cayman S, one of the best, most analog Porsche cars of all time. Let's do it. Okay, here we are. 2008 Porsche Cayman S 987.1 classic hydraulic steering, 6-speed manual. This is about as analog as modern Porsches get. So I'm taking on my usual drive here, trailing a Miata on some hilly curves, and you really don't even feel the curves in this thing. It's obviously a very lightweight car. It's like 2,900 pounds. And it's mid-engine, and it drives like it. The interior is almost like the 997 Turbo that I just rented. Very similar, same wheel, same model year. It feels much different though. The car's, it's definitely a smaller car than the 911, but it feels way smaller. It's interesting. Much shorter wheelbase. Gearbox feels wonderful. The shifter action is light yet positive, and it just clicks in every gear. Great shifter on this car. I really like it. Shift's really smooth. The engine's really smooth too. One of the smoothest Porsche engines I've ever driven. I've driven all the way from the 2000 Carrera up to modern day. Alright, let's hit some curves here, see how she feels. I mean, no surprise, of all the cars I've driven and tested through here, the Cayman, you can hit curves the fastest, and you don't even feel it. One thing you do feel is the ride. We have a light mid-engine car, summer tires, and a very short wheelbase. The car is a bit unsettled just due to all those things. It's pretty bumpy. I think the suspension damps it well, but it's quite bumpy compared to the 997 Turbo. Bigger car, longer wheelbase, much heavier, weight on the front with all-wheel drive. Worlds apart in terms of ride quality. 997s and Carreras in general, I think, ride really well. This doesn't ride so well, but you wouldn't expect that. This is a pure sports car. You wouldn't expect to ride like a Cadillac, and you don't get it. You feel bumps tremendously. I mean, I'm getting definitely older. I'm only a year or two away from 50. I notice bumps in this versus most other cars I've driven. It's just way more pronounced. The littlest bump, just boom, 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 boom. It sends the car kind of teetering all over the place, but it's solid on the road, to be clear, but the ride is just firm and bounces you all over the place. It is what it is, right? It's a Cayman. So, if you're looking for ride quality, you should probably look further, but you're not buying a Cayman for ride quality. Of course not. Whoa, a turkey. Turkeys, holy cow. Alright, let's see how she goes. Back to the twisties. Just a fantastic car. We're just flying around these turns. It never comes through on camera, but we're just cruising through those curves. And it's just so easy in this car. It's so easy. choppy road and a bumpy road, I mean, it's pretty brutal in this car. It really is. Got the 19-inch Carrera sport wheels, low profile tires, as the Porsche should have, and wow, you feel those bumps, holy cow. Great handling, a lot of bumps. On track, of course, where a lot of these go, there's not many bumps, so not really an issue. On bumpy back roads, you're gonna feel it. It is what it is. You know, at speed, 56 miles an hour. The cabin, you know, you heard some road noise, tire noise, that glorious motor noise, but otherwise pretty quiet. This car is quick, I have to say. It's a 3.4 liter engine, 295 horsepower, I think 251 foot-pounds of torque. Not big numbers. This car is quick. I mean, I thought it was going to be dog slow compared to newer Caymans and Carreras, and I just got out of a Tesla, my Tesla, when I picked this car up. This is not a slow car at all. It's quick. And it's smooth. The engine just sings and revs out so beautifully. It's wonderful. Yeah, this thing really pulls. I'm rarely getting anywhere near redline, and it just rips. This car really rips. Wonderful little car. You know, my initial impressions are really the only thing I don't like is the ride is just crazy firm, very firm. But that's about the only detractor I can find with this car. Everything else feels tight and right. Typical Porsche. You know, this car is a 2008. It's getting up in years. 55,000 miles. This thing is built like a rock. Everything in the interior, the parking brake, you move it, you touch it, it's like concrete. It's just like stone in place. Does not move, does not budge, no squeaks, no rattles. Just a wonderful, wonderful machine. It amazes me how many older Porsches I've driven. I mean, they are just built incredibly well. The tolerances, the solidity is just fantastic. Anyway, this is a backroads track car, obviously, and it's great at that. I mean, I'm just whizzing through these turns like they're nothing. You know, I had a 997 turbo coming through here. It also felt great, gave me a lot of confidence, but you can't just rip it around like you can rip this thing. 997 turbo has a lot of weight over the front wheels, a lot of weight in general, engine in the back. Like, you just don't get the same balance. This car is just beautifully, beautifully balanced on back road curves. A joy. This car is exactly what you would expect in other cars. Wow. Once the 3.4 gets up 4,000 or 5,000 RPMs, that's when it really starts to rip. And we're going to take this car to a straightaway soon. It's actually very hard for me to get this car over 5,000 on a back road. It just picks up speed so quickly. It really does. And you know what's crazy to me is this car, this is one of the nicest Cayman S's of this era I've ever seen, much less driven. And this car is about, I would say, sold for about $32,000 to $35,000. I mean, what a vehicle for that amount of money. The 997 turbo I had, same year, less miles, but that car was like 75. You're talking a $35,000 to $40,000 differential between this and a 997 turbo. Now, this is not a 997 turbo or any other Porsche for that matter, but for what it offers, these things are super cheap. Super cheap. What a value, you know, a great value. The gearbox is just wonderful. It's funny, I love manual transmissions, but so few of them do I enjoy driving. This clutch is great. It's very linear, it's not too bitey at any one point, it's smooth. The gear shifter is light, but also has like a nice weight to it. It's just like snick, snick, snick in the gear. It's wonderful. I love it. This probably is the best Porsche 6-speed. One of them I've driven. Excellent. Now, let's check out the brakes a little bit here. Huge brakes on this beast. Let's check them out. Woo! Wow. Wow. Oh my God. Wow. Excellent, excellent brakes. Wow. Excellent. I can't believe how quickly it hauled the car down with no drama whatsoever. It's excellent. So just touching the brakes again. Pedal feel is good. Not too soft, not too hard. It's progressive. You get bite as soon as you start getting into the pedal. The more you get into it, the more it brakes. Oh boy, one of the best brake pedals I've ever felt. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, let's open her up. Third gear. So, as the car revs out, it doesn't pull crazily more. I think you get kind of, you know, as the car gets past 4,000 or 5,000, it picks up a little bit better, but it's generally, it doesn't come on in like a frightening way or a way that upsets the balance of the car. This thing is just smooth. It's got plenty of power to go fast, not too much to overwhelm the car. It just is smooth. Smoother than I thought it would be. I'm impressed. I'll give you a sense of just, I think mid-range is where this car is at. I'm in second gear, about 3,000 RPMs. Oh yeah. Like I said, it's not scary fast, but it moves as it really winds out the tack needle. It moves. It really is a quick little thing. I think it's more than most people would need. You know, the low-end power off of a stoplight isn't going to blow you away, but it's pretty good. The mid-range and the upper RPM range is where this car really shines. Really nice car. Really nice. It's so smooth, too. As you rev out that flat six. Smooth, balanced, no vibrations. So smooth. Porsche just knows how to do it, obviously. Just another fine example of an excellent job done by Porsche. Alright, let's check out the turning circle, which I assume is fantastic. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, oh my god. This thing turns on a dime. That's the best turning radius I've ever experienced in any car. Holy cow. Except maybe a Lotus Elise. Alright, let's try a 0 to 60 run here. Again, older car, beautiful car. I don't want to disrespect this car. We're not going to go crazy clutch drops, but let's do a moderate 0 to 60 and see how she goes. Oh yeah, yeah, that's good. Yeah, again, not crazy. I think 0 to 60 in this particular car is like 4.9, something like that with the manual. It's respectable. It's respectable, no doubt about it. It sounds good too. This doesn't have the sport exhaust, and you know, the Caymans, unlike the 911s, the Caymans rarely sound as good as a Carrera does, but it sounds nice. And funny enough, when you're outside the car, it sounds even better. You get some nice cracks and pops and burbles. You don't hear them too much inside, but it sounds like what it is, a beautifully smooth flat six just winding out, and that's a good thing. I wouldn't say this engine revs fast. I think as you get up in the rev range, there's some engines that have like super light flywheels, and you hit the rev limiter in a nanosecond. This isn't that, or maybe I'm just not great at driving it yet, but it kind of takes a while to pull through the rev range, but boy, is it beautiful while it does that. This is a car that you really want to keep in the higher RPMs. It doesn't feel like you're hurting the car at all. It's smooth, it's balanced, it's vibration free. The car loves to play in the 4,000 to 7,000 RPM range all day long. Just a beautiful thing, beautiful thing. Alright, here's a 15-mile-an-hour turn. Very, very, very sharp. I mean, this car just eats it up. I mean, good lord. You can do double or triple that speed and you're good to go. I like to wind out third in this car. It's a lovely third gear. Love it. I just like wind out third and go into sixth, and I'm there. I'm at the speed I need, you know? It's great. You know, the 987.1s are starting to shoot up in value. Some people like the .2s because there's 0 chance of an IMS failure. It's like 1% on the .1s. Not a big problem. Porsche purists kind of worry about the IMS, and you know, I can understand that to some degree, but if you don't care about an IMS failure and you don't want to attempt to replace it, which on these is tough, you can just wail on these cars all day long. I think they're pretty well bulletproof. You know, the 987.1 has kind of the old infotainment system. It's got an engine that has a slight 1% IMS failure rate, and it's non-serviceable. Some people are after the .2s. Very hard to get a manual on a 987. And the 987.2, very hard to get a manual. The 987.1s, it seems like they're all manual, you know? Should you buy a 987.1 Cayman S? You should. If you like them and you've driven them, what are you waiting for? Values are only going to keep going up. They're such a great value, it's absolutely incredible. If you have a family and you're going to buy it as your only car, is that a good idea? It is not. But as a second or third car, if you're a young single person and you just want to have fun and you don't commute to work, or if you do commute to work, this is a great choice. You know, the $30,000 range for a car like this, yeah. Yes, please. I think it's a cliche thing to say, but this car drives like a go-kart. A bigger, leather-covered, amazing-sounding go-kart. It really is like driving a go-kart. It's so... Like, look at this 15-mile-an-hour turn here. I mean, just... Whoop. This car just eats it up. Wow. Looking for a pure sports car, this is it. If you want a big GT car, a twin turbo V12, this isn't it. But if you're looking for a pure analog 6-speed sports car, I do not think you're going to do better than a Cayman S or even a Cayman. You know, the base Cayman is still pretty respectable, a bit slower, but great car. Corners, like, wow, just wow. What a treat. God, that engine is smooth. It's so smooth. So anyway, it's almost dark here. I couldn't end the video without talking about the steering. Here's a little sample of that. Phenomenal. It's quick, medium weight, not too light, not too heavy. Point and shoot. Oh, super responsive. Super accurate. It's just precise, beautifully weighted. There's a slight uncentered dead spot, but not too bad. The steering is just fantastic. These 987s and the 997s, hydraulic steering is just some of the best ever. I miss it with newer cars, and that's why I drive these old ones, and I want to buy one of these old Porsches. The steering is beautiful. I mean, just look at that. Just very direct. Oh, fantastic steering. If I'm being honest, I think I like the 997 turbo steering a little bit more. It's a little bit heavier, a little more precise, I'm guessing, because a lot more weight on that car, more weight over the wheels. Yeah, all-wheel drive, wider tires. It just feels a little more solid, maybe a little higher effort, but this is pretty close. This is a bit lighter than the 997 turbo in steering feel, but given all the things I said, you would expect that. They're both amazing, you can't go wrong. If you are sick and tired of modern day electric steering, you need one of these, or 997. Just get in one of those and you'll be in heaven. And obviously the grip is insane in a turn, no body roll, you know, mid-engine. This thing changes direction very quickly. It's everything you would expect from a classic Porsche sports car. Is this more nimble than a 911 Carrera? Of course. I've driven tons of those. Way more nimble. Is it better than a Carrera? I mean, depends what you want. For me, I think a Carrera is a little better suited. I like a comfier ride. I like a smoother ride, less bumps. I like the extra weight and heft of a Carrera. But this is amazing, you know? There's no wrong answer. It's just about what do you prefer and what kind of car is best for you. Now we're cruising. On a smooth road, this will cruise and be very serene. When the bumps show up, not so much, but I did want to give the Cayman S credit that if you're on good roads and freshly laid asphalt, it's very smooth, very smooth. I'm enjoying this immensely, this kind of twilight cruise. It's beautiful. All right, so here we are on a California freeway. This thing just eats it up. It's fun to drive a go-kart type car on the freeway. It's just, you can kind of weave through everything, but a couple things here. Most freeways are not super bumpy, so the ride is tolerable on the freeway. I think it actually rides pretty nice. This particular stretch of freeway is good. Good pavement. Car is really smooth. It's not overly noisy. You know, if you're talking to a passenger, you're gonna have to do what I'm doing to talk to you across the car, which is raise your voice a little bit, but it's nice. You know, it's very, at freeway speeds, it's stable, planted, solid, smooth. No vibrations going on through here, none through the wheel, the gearbox, or the car. No noises, just rock solid. I have to say too, this car, like I'm in 6th gear, I'll just put the gas down. Like when you put the gas down in 6th gear, this car just goes. I mean, it's not crazy fast, but in top gear on the freeway, it moves. I mean, I don't need to downshift to pass people most of the time. It's really great. You know, as I record this video and I talk about all the great things about it, I start thinking to myself, I think I just need to buy one of these. I have this problem with most cars I drive, especially Porsches. You know, you get used to it and it's like, wait a second, I could buy this car. So as we approach nighttime and twilight is upon us, I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd appreciate a like. Always love to read the comments, and of course subscribe if you don't want to miss any of my future videos. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.